Hello everyone. In this video, I want to talk about my experience of 2020. A lot has changed since the beginning of this year, and I think this has affected most people. If someone told me last year what we would be expecting for this year, I probably wouldn't believe them. Ever since COVID-19 became a reality for our world, things have drastically changed for everyone. It has made me feel isolated at times. At other times, I appreciate the extra time at home to where I can explore my own interests. But the hardest part about this year was not being able to see my family as much. And actually, the hardest part was not being able to be there for my grandma's partner when he passed away last week, actually. And that was kind of hard because I didn't want to put my grandma at risk. It's just been really hard. We were really close. People still go to family gatherings, and that's great, but for some reason for me, I'd rather not put my elderly relatives at risk, especially when I do go out in public a lot. I did see my grandma that lives in town the other day, and I noticed something. I noticed how it made me feel. I forgot how it felt to be around family and how it feels to be around someone who you care about and love. It really just kind of escaped from me the past couple months, and seeing her last week was kind of a shock. It kind of a change of how it made me feel. Big thing that has been affecting me is not being able to see my twin sister. She goes to Chico State. She's in a grad program. She lives in Chico, but I live 3 hours away, and we just realized that it's not worth risking going back and forth and seeing each other when we should be, social distancing right now. Things have definitely felt lonelier this year. I really hope that next year makes up for it. I've also learned a lot from observing other people during this time. I mean, honestly, there are a lot of great people working together to stop this virus. That doesn't include just doctors and healthcare workers. That includes essential workers like people who work at restaurants or people who work at grocery stores. They're just as important to help us get through this. After all, they did get us through that crazy toilet paper situation, which I'm still confused about. I'm still confused as to why that happened. I think people just got a little panicked at first. Also observed a flip side to this. I've seen how people use COVID-19 for political weapons to attack each other, and I've seen how people treat each other during this time, and it's just, it's either one extreme or the next, it seems like. And a lot of people use it for, making fun of people who are wearing masks and things like that. And it just kind of disturbs me how some people are acting, not all people. I think that history professors in the future, when they teach this to the students, I'm sure everyone's going to be like, why did they act that way? What made them act that way? But it's kind of like how we look at history now and we're like, why do they act that way? It's because times are different and people act according to what is current to their world. However, I cannot blame people for acting the way they do because not everyone reacts the same. Some people react in a nurturing way, and some people have this fight or flight instinct that makes them act, angry, or maybe they're in denial of the fear of COVID, or maybe they just don't believe in COVID. That's fine too. But everyone acts differently, and not everyone's going to act the same. And I've really actually kind of found it interesting to watch how different people react, not only in public but in social media as well. I think that sociologists here have a really good opportunity to learn from a first-hand experience about this topic. We've all had to adjust our lives in some ways. Teachers have had to switch to online learning. Students have had to learn to, I guess, go to class online, and even little kids and families have had to adjust with that as well. It's definitely something that we've had to do in a short period of time, and it just goes to show how much humans can adapt. We can adapt so quickly if we have to, and I thought that was very interesting as well. I mean, mind you, we went into lockdown fast, and when we did have everything close up, the majority of businesses, it happened very quickly and people had to adapt to that. And it was really interesting to see how that played out as well and how it affected me as well. I wasn't really the type of person to go out and stock up on things. I wasn't really the type of person to panic. I knew it would blow over, But if I did have a family and if I did, have people to provide for, then I guess I would probably do the same. And I can't blame people for acting like that. But we adapted and we're getting through this. And as much as people, argue, we will get through this. So after thinking about my own experience with this assignment, it has made me realize that focusing on the positive and focusing on what good is going to come ahead and focusing on maybe getting through this is really going to help me get through this year. And I'm really hopeful for the future. It's just my experience so far with 2020 in the past, 6 months or so. It's been kind of crazy, but I know everyone's going to be different. So thank you everyone for watching.